job today. Thank you for following all the instructions that I gave.
And it is a victory for the Weslaco Panthers by a final score of 27-21. Hello, everybody. Carlos Romero along with Mike Gonzalez, and welcome to the Miriam Guerra Allstate Insurance post-game show, where the Panthers are now 1-0 on the 2017 season. Let's go to the highlights in this one because it was a wild game, especially in that second half. In the first quarter, there was no score, and then a great defensive play here by Tommy Escavel to strip the ball away from Stanley Lambert. No score after one quarter. Then they get the ball going. You see right here, Marco Leal rolling out, looking to pass down the field. He finds Jaden Cavazos. Great little move right there, big time play for Cavazos as he's able to motor on down to the 16-yard line. That would set up the Weslaco Panther offense, and they run the ball. Peyton Kanab, touchdown, 7-0 Panthers on top. It was 7-0 Weslaco leading at the half. Dylan Poor scores right here for Marshall. We're all tied 7-7, and then the Rams, they take the lead. This is the young man you'll be seeing playing on Saturday nights. Arizona State University commit Stanley Lambert touchdown pass, and the Rams are on top 14-0 at that point. But the Panthers weren't done. Cavazos playing quarterback, running with a football. 39 yards to the house, and the Panthers, extra point no good, down 14-13. Cavazos running with the ball again right here. That was a 10-yard touchdown run as the Panthers go for two right here. Leal to Cavazos, back to Leal, the quarterback. The two-point conversion was good, and the Panthers are on top. Score tied, 21-21, and then right here, Peyton Kanab takes the ball. 85 yards. And the Weslaco Panthers take the lead there, 27-21. There were still 56 seconds left in the game. They kick off right here, and the Panthers recover it, and it is a victory for the Weslaco Panthers. Final score, once again, 27-21. Let's bring up our guest right here on the post-game show. We'd like to bring up Jacob Cavazos, a quarterback. Outstanding game for him.
Coach.
And Coach Salinas.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Coach. 1-0 on the young season. Coach, first of all, just let us know, is every game going to be like this?
I hope not. I don't have any more hair to lose, but my beard will grow gray, so just really proud of the effort our kids and our coaches had today.
Hey, Coach, that was some pretty gutsy calls out there you made, from the two-point conversion to even the squid kick that San Antonio fumbled. We recovered to seal the game.
Yeah, again, these are situations we practice. Hats off to our coaching staff and our kids. They did a great job today. Not fully happy with our execution, but extremely proud of our effort today.
Jacob, how did it feel to get your first varsity experience today and coming up with a couple of touchdowns?
It feels amazing. I mean, being out here with a great team and great background with beautiful coaches that do everything for us and give up all their time for us, it's a great feeling.
You know, you and Payne Kanab are only sophomores, and yet San Antonio was able to tie this game late, you know, big play after big play. But, man, you guys responded, you know, even though there was adversity. Where does that come from?
I mean, in the end, and we're in there for the team. They put us in there for a reason. We just have to do our job no matter what, and our coaches believed in us, so we just did what we could to get the job done.
Coach, they were a physical team out there, and was there any hesitation because you only had that scrimmage, you didn't have a game last week? Did you all feel like, okay, it took us a while to get your bearings going?
We knew it was going to be a little bit of experiment for our guys early and to try to settle into a rhythm. Obviously, they had some size. They had some pretty good athletes on tape. We didn't anticipate some of those guys being as big as they were. But, again, our kids continued to play hard regardless of the situation, and that's all we can ask of them.
Coach, let's talk defense. I mean, they did a pretty good job as well. I mean, they were pretty physical out there, just like Coach Buff promised. They were going to be physical out there. And, you know, again, San Antonio was a pretty big play team, and for them to hang in there, they were this close to stopping them on that fourth down. They had to really earn that touchdown. Talk about the unit.
I think our defense did a great job. Told our kids at halftime, keep doing what you're doing. I felt like we did a little bit of a poor job on offense, executing and finishing in the first half, but our defense put us in some situations, allowed those guys to 0 points, and just really proud of where they are and how they've progressed to this point, being really a week 1 and week 2 for us.
Jacob, any nerves in this game at all? Because it was tight all the way through. How did you keep your composure?
I mean, nerves will always be there, but in the end, I mean, it's just you got to get your job done. You got to get your job done. And I mean, our coaches put us in there. We had to do what we needed to do, and in the end, it's for the team. And so, just when everybody believes in you, it's a lot easier.
Coach, offensive line. I mean, it's a big-time adjustment for them, probably more than anybody, only because, I mean, they've been used to running the football for over a decade. So with that being said, you know, pass protection is something they probably had to learn in the offseason, and they had to learn it pretty quick. Give us a little report card on what you think out there.
I think our offensive line did a good job. I think Richard Carmona stepped up and played a really good game for us. Obviously, we got to evaluate the video and see where we are, but they gave us time to complete some balls, and then they brought a little bit of heat on some situations, and our quarterbacks did a good job bailing us out.
Coach, when you were that kick that you had at the very end of the game to seal it for you guys, was that planned, or were you just trying to kick it through and not let them have a good return?
It's a squib kick. It was late in the game. We were trying to get it down there to about the 10-yard line and have that thing fumble around down there and give them a hard time picking it up. And fortunately for us, it hit one of their players, and our kicker recovered it.
Jacob, take us to that two-point conversion. I mean, it was a trick play. Obviously, I think you started off in the slot, and then when the play began, then they gave it to you, and then you found Marco in the end zone. Just tell us a little bit about it.
I mean, we practiced that play every practice. We believed we could do it. Coach called it, and we just executed like we do in practice.
And Coach, from what I understand, that was a play y'all just worked on this week?
We put it in a couple weeks ago, worked on it for a situation like that, if we needed it on a fourth down or two-point conversion, and brought the kids over and gave them an option and said, y'all want to run it or not? And they did. So they had a lot of confidence in it, and fortunately for us, it worked out.
How does it feel to be here now in Weslaco, fully ingrained, have a big crowd here on your first game, and to come up with a 1-0 after this game?
It's a good feeling because of the work our kids and our coaches have put forth to this point. We've required a lot of work from them. A lot of sacrifice has been made from our coaching staff's families and our players. So really just proud of them. And our number one goal today was to put a good product on the field for the city of Weslaco. And I think our kids did that today.
Coach, you look really good wearing that purple and white. I'll just say that.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, we'll let you guys go. Thank you very much. Coach Salinas.
Thank you.
Jacob Cavazos.
Thank you.
And we'll let them go. They'll enjoy the victory here for a little bit because next week, they got the Mercedes Tigers, so they'll be traveling over down the road about 5 miles away for that one. And we'll bring in a couple more players also as well. Marco Leal come on board as well as he got the start at quarterback.
Come on over, Marco. Have a seat,
Senior
man.
quarterback here. And Marco, how did it feel to get out there? I know that your brain must have been fried trying to get, because last year you had one offense. This year it's a different offense. But finally you got a chance to execute it today.
It just felt very amazing just coming out here and performing a new offense. But I know Coach Salinas has been preparing us since spring, and it's just been awesome just to now experience a new offense and what it can really do for you. And it was really good.
I'll ask you what I asked Jacob right now. That two-point conversion, it was a trick play. You snuck in there in the corner. I mean, but there's, when you think about it, there's some pressure there because, hey, you're there to complete that two-point conversion, and it's not easy. It's easy. It's harder than people think, huh?
Yes, sir. Well, just like Jacob said, that we practice it every day, and he knew that it was in the game plan and we needed to use it, so it paid off, and we executed and got it done.
You guys seem comfortable with a little, two-quarterback system working right there. How did it feel?
Oh, it felt amazing. I mean, if I have to share my playing time in order for us to get the W, I'm all for it. I'm a team player. I'm not a selfish guy, so.
Absolutely.
And that's very good to know, Marco, because you being the senior, you're showing that leadership skills, and I think the rest of the team follows, and I think it's paying off, and it paid off today.
Oh, it's paying off tremendously. I mean, all our linemen, all of our DBs, our linebackers, everyone's just buying into and joining the hunt, and we're going to go out and try to get a district championship. We're going to get it done.
Yeah, and you guys do feel comfortable. I mean, watching you guys, not a lot of mistakes, with it being a new system and you guys learning on the fly right here. You guys felt real comfortable. You looked real comfortable out there. Did it feel that way?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. The thing about Weslaco is that we have some smart kids. We got bright kids, so we just go out and we execute and we do what we let our training take over. So if we're nervous and all that, we just say trust our training, and we're there.
Muscle memory.
Hey, Marco, you being the senior, you get a chance to not only work with Jacob, but guys like Payne Kanab and some of the others. Give us a little report card. How did they look out there playing varsity for the first time in a game like this against a San Antonio school?
For one, they did not look nervous at all. I was very proud of them, and they just blew my mind. I love those kids to death, the future of Weslaco, and when I'm out of here, I'm expecting big things for them.
Do you feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg? Because there's so many weapons, a lot of speed on that team, and you could throw the ball anywhere out there, and any of these guys can break it wide open.
No, this is not the tip. We're still building our foundation, and we're just gonna
You know,
get done.
you guys didn't have a game last week, so we didn't know what to expect, and I don't think the fans knew what to expect either. So for you guys to come out with a win like this, come from behind, at home against the San Antonio team, what does it mean to your team?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, this is the second year we beat them in a row, but every time we step on the field for practice, we're just out there, and it's quick tempo, it's everything, and we're just on the ropes. We're getting it done.
All right, we'll let you go. Marco Leal, senior quarterback.
Congratulations.
You got the start today. You'll get the start. We'll see next week as well, as the Panthers seem very comfortable going with 2 quarterbacks. And both these quarterbacks played very well today.
Well, a lot of times, Carlos, when something like this happens, there's a lot of controversy. You don't know what's going to happen. Should this player play? Should that player play? But it looks to me, Carlos, like the chemistry is there, that regardless of which quarterback is in there, they know that the job is going to get done. And keep in mind that, let's say Marco is the quarterback, Jacob lines up as a receiver, and vice versa. When Jacob is the quarterback, Marco can line up as a receiver as well. So it works hand in hand well. And keep in mind that Elijah Banda didn't play in this game. That's another weapon that the Panthers are going to have whenever he gets back to the team.
Yeah, and one of those games that was exciting. The atmosphere here was crazy. The weather was, a little bit warm. Humidity was a little bit down. Huge crowd. The band was loud. Great atmosphere for the Weslaco Panthers, and just an exciting game. A lot of people were holding their breath in this contest, and we'll see if it happens, week in and week out. It could be closer contests because they are a young team.
Yeah, you're right, Carlos. And I mean, as we mentioned earlier, the fact that they're that young and they're learning a new system with a new coaching staff. What I really liked, Carlos, is that there was adversity. I mean, San Antonio looked like they were going to take control in the second half, but yet these young guys, Jacob Cavazos, Payne Canop, and then the defense, Marco Noriega, making some plays there, stepping up. And I mean, did you see that hole on that return Payne Canop had? I mean, it was unbelievable. That shows you, like Marco said, how smart these guys are.
On the return, it was wide open for Canop to go in and seal the deal with that touchdown. A couple of other players, you talked about Marco Noriega having himself a great game, but also Andrew Olguin, Tommy Esquivel. That defense, it looked like they're going to be very, very difficult to run against. As you watch right here, Canop just wide open up the middle. And with his speed, he was able to run away from everyone.
Yeah, as you can see, Carlos, I mean, we saw it right away, and then I think he did too. And I mean, look at him break those tackles. And I mean, there was like one guy in front of him and made a nice shifty move and just took it to the house. But yes, Marco Noriega, very physical player on defense, and Andrew Olguin making some open field tackles. Great job. This is what Coach Buff said. That was the kind of scheme they were going to have, and it was very exciting to watch.
Yeah, so the defensive line played well. The linebackers, of course, were shooting through the gaps. Not a lot of running. Washington, from the other side, he had a good game. Lambert was able to score a touchdown. He was very tough as well. But like Mike said, they kept battling and battling. And should we start talking about next week?
Oh, really? Why not?
Are you ready? Because next
week
they're going to be playing against a team that is in 32-5, a smaller school, but the Mercedes Tigers are predicted to win district, so it's going to be a tough battle next week.
It is, Carlos. I mean, we're talking about an offense that, like ours, they like to run fast tempo, score a lot of points. Yesterday, they come off a 400-yard game against McAllen Rowe. I know they're a little banged up on defense, but it still will be a good test for this young Weslaco Panther team.
Yeah, that'll be on the road. In fact, both teams from Weslaco ISD will be on the road, so we'll be back here in a couple of weeks because then there's a bye. And then, of course, district season will begin. Let's not even start talking about that right now. We're still trying to get through this. All right, final thoughts on the game, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you what, Carlos, this was very exciting, and I think I speak for all of Weslaco ISD and the Panther fans. I can get used to this. Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
It's an exciting brand of football, an opportunity where, you had all these years where they were running the football. The passing game was intermixed with the running game here, and it just gives the Panthers just that opportunity to break something wide open like they did.
They did, and I mean, again, I can get used to it, and I mean, this is just this formula, and the play calling of Coach Salinas, very gutsy to do that in a 2-point conversion, and then that squid kick. I mean, the way It's very gutsy because, I mean, the game is tied, or actually
If
the
they were
Panthers are
covered
ahead.
right there.
Right. I mean, we're talking the Rams could get it right there at midfield with still about 45 seconds. And no, they didn't have any timeouts left, but it would have put our defense in a tough situation.
Yeah.
The way it worked out. But that's why he's the coach, and they take chances. That's why they get paid to do this.
All right. Well, we'll leave it right there as the Miriam Geta Allstate Insurance post-game show concludes, and we'll be back here next week. For Mike Gonzalez, Carlos Roberto, and everybody at KWIS, we'll see you guys next time.